What is going on, guys? I'm SceptileMC, George, the coach of your San Francisco Arcaniners, here bringing my GBA Season 7 Week 6 match against Gatrs. I do know that this is late, guys. I'm going to quickly explain what happened. So, this week I was extremely busy, and I had only one time to record over the weekend, and I recorded for it, and I was just like, great, this looks good. I quickly put in the music, tested the audio in some places, and I didn't watch the entire video. I rendered it, and I saved it. And I was like, alright, I'm going to upload this now. And I was like, hold on, let me quickly do a quick run through before I click the upload button. And I did my run through, and the audio at the end actually got completely fucked up. And I didn't have time to record until now. When I'm recording this, it's actually Thursday. So I do apologize for how long it's been since that I was supposed to get this up for. Completely my fault. I thought I'd have time during the week to get up on Monday or something, but I've just been too busy with school and other stuff like that, so I do apologize. But obviously there's no team builder either. I didn't have time for a team builder. These past 2 weeks have been crazy. But I'm gonna quickly explain all the mods on my team, and then we'll get right on into the battle. So my Drapion is my lead Drapion. It does have the Shukaberry for the likes of the Mammal Swine, as well as the Earth Power on the Heatran and the Earthquake on the Heracross. I believe I am some sort of speed variant. I do think I have a lot of speed on this thing to outspeed his base 80s. Got the knockoff, the poison jab, the toxic spice because they do hurt his team a lot, as well as the aqua tail. I decided for aqua tail over earthquake just because I assumed I would lose my Shukaberry against the Mammal Swine if I were to lose it to anything. After that, I have the Mew. Mew is a max special attack set, modest nature, with the Tanga Berry for the Heracross, as well as the Galvantula. I have the Rocks, the Psychic, the Rocks, the Psychic, the Ice Beam, and the Earth Power, I believe. So those are the moves on that thing. It's mainly for the Galvantula and the Heracross that I have the Tanga Berry, and then it just destroys everything else on his team. The only thing I can't take on his team is a Choice Specs Draco Meteor off a Latios. We'll see if he brings that. My Mismagius is Choice Scarfed. It has the Shadow Ball, the Hex, and that's really all that matters. I do have the Energy Ball as well and some other move, but the Shadow Ball and the Hex are really the only two that actually matter in this game. After that, I have Max Defensive Suicune for obvious reasons. He has the Mamoswine, the Hawlucha, and the Heracross on his team, all of which do a lot of damage to me, so Max Defensive Suicune is a must. Next up, we got Togekiss right here. Togekiss is Max Speed Timid with Max Defense, Nasty Plot, Roost, Aura Sphere, and the Air Slash. So the main thing behind that is if I get up a Nasty Plot, I could survive any hit off of the Mamoswine as well as off of the Heracross, and I can kill those off with Air Slash and Aura Sphere respectively, and then just heal up all prior damage with Roost. And then my last mon is my Superior. The item on Superior was kind of between 3 items or 3 berries. The Kabia Berry, which is for poison, I believe. No, not Kabia, sorry. The Tanga Berry, which is for bug in case the Heracross was Choice Scarfed. The Yachi Berry, if the Mamoswine was an Ice Shard variant. And the Koba Berry in case the Hawlucha came. Now, I thought all 3 might come, because they all absolutely destroy my team. And I already had a Tanga Berry as well as a Shukaberry, so I did just decide that my Superior would be able to somewhat handle the Hawlucha, because I do have the Glare on this as well. It's Leaf Storm, HP Ground, and a Dragon Pulse set. So that is my team, guys. Just want to make a quick point is that Mismagius also pretty much walls half his team, depending on the move they use. If you brought for example, the Heracross can't really go for a close combat or a Mega Horn or Earthquake. I can switch in on Earthquake from the Mamoswine, take the Bug Buzz off the Galvantula, and Pyukumuku is just a little shit in the back. Yeah, without further ado, let me get right into the battle. So I think he's probably going to want to lead off with either Galvantula, Mamoswine, or the Latios. My best bet is just to lead off with my Drapion. It is lead. It is a lead variant, so I can pretty much take on any one Pokemon except the Latios, because if it's Life Orb, it can just KO me. If it's Choice Specs, it can KO me. And I go into my Drapion lead, and I just immediately think, alright, well, this is probably gonna be Specs or Life Orb. Choice Scarf is possible, but I really thought it was one of the two. I'm gonna make the safe play, just go into my Togekiss. Now right here, I was really tempted to go for Nasty Plot right here. However, if he was Life Orbed and switched it up and went for T-Bolt, that would have been a massive problem for me, because I would have just lost my Togekiss after turn 2 because I couldn't survive 2 T-Bolts. So I did go play it safe and click Air Slash right there. Hindsight, there's always hindsight comments, so you can't really go off that. But he goes into his Heatran right here. I'm just like, alright, I'm just going to go for Nasty Plot. I don't know what he wants to go for. But I want damage on this Heatran because it is one of the only mons that can possibly stop my, my Mismagius. So he does go for the Stealth Rocks right there after I go for a Nasty Plot, and then I'm going to click Aura Sphere, see how much it does. If he's not max specially defensive, I can 2-hit KO. He turns out to be max specially defensive because that's just barely like a roll, kind of. And he goes for Toxic. And Toxic plus Rocks mean my Togekiss is now completely on a timer. And if I could replay these turns, to be honest, I don't know if I would change anything. The only thing I know for a fact I would change is going for Nasty Plot against the Latios, just not fearing if it was Life Orb. It was just the way he went straight for a Draco Meteor when he knew I had a Togekiss as my counter to it. That kind of lured me into believing he would have T-Bolt. But he's just going to fire off a Protect right there. Alright guys, I do apologize about that. Living with 4 people is always annoying to record because they do come in, and now you can obviously tell them being a little quieter than it was before. But yeah, so that they just walked in, and you can immediately start picking up on the mic, so I just had to play back a little bit, cut that part out, and just go with it. So let me regain my thoughts here. I believe I went for Nasty Plot, and then hit him with an Aura Sphere. Now on the next turn, I thought he might want to switch out, but at the same time, his switch would have to be I don't know if he would want to switch, and again, I just play it safe. Should have played Ballsy on these first few turns, to be honest, just because the Latios was a big threat, and if I got the Heatran with the +2 Aura Sphere from the start, maybe I would not have gone Toxic. I do fire off an Aura Sphere. I should have gone for Air Slash. In the end, it really didn't matter because this thing just is here. I have expected him to have Protect right here, which is why I am just going to actually switch out after these leftovers, because I did not want him to go for Protect and Toxic Stall me and then just recover. So, and I do need my Togekiss because the way he switched out of the Latios confirmed that he was Choice, and I'm assuming it's Specs, and if he's Choice Specs, everything dies to Draco. I don't have a switch into Draco. Here I go into Mew, and he's just going to Baton Pass. And yeah, this is going to be a rinse and repeat type thing with the Pyukumuku. Every time it comes in, I think it just goes for Baton Pass. He's going to go out right into the Latios, and I can't stay in. I have a feeling that he's not going to overpredict. He doesn't have to. He has up Rocks. My Togekiss is Toxic, so he doesn't really have anything to worry about with not going for Draco, because no matter what, he's dealing very crucial damage to my Togekiss, which is why I have to go into Togekiss. So I'm basically playing into his hands, but I don't have a play to make other than that. And I didn't really expect Choice Specs Latios, and it just really threw me for a loop. And this is just, you guys are going to see. But right here, he is going to make the switch out into Galvantula, and I expected him to want to go out into Pyukumuku or the Heatran right here, or anything else, and it's this thing. And now here I have a choice. I can either go for a Psychic, or I can go for Stealth Rocks. And I do have the Tanga Berry, and I'm going to say a hindsight play right here. Because I'm assuming most of you have already seen the battle with Gator on his side, because it's been so many days. But I go for Psychic, and hindsight, should have set up Stealth Rocks. The reason I say that is I could have killed the Latios after one Stealth Rock switch in with my Choice Scarf Mismagius, and because I don't get up my rocks, I pretty much have an extremely hard time of dealing that 10% of damage I need to take it out. He's going to die here, so I trade the Galvantula. The Galvantula was a huge threat to my team, so even if I did get up the rocks instead, I would have had to deal with Galvantula, which I don't even know if I could have done, just because of how threatening it is to me. But right here, I know he's going to go into Latios. I have to go into Togekiss, and I just have to... I almost double switched here into Suicune, because I knew that he wasn't going to drop a Draco, and I knew he would have the Psyshock, but it was kind of just a, like, is he going to have the T-Bolt, or is he going to go for Ice Beam? And I decided Togekiss just has to go down. I'm going to switch out into Serperior here, and Serperior can just fire off a Leaf Storm right here, as he does go out into the Heatran. Now, I'm pretty sure that he knows if I brought Serperior that it would have to have the HP ground. But once again, I'm not going to try to over-predict right here. I am at max HP, or 88%, because of Stealth Rocks. So the Mammoth Swine can't take me out with an Ice Shard yet, unless it's like Adamant Choice Banded, which I don't think it would be. So I am just going to go for HP Ground. I know it can deal the most. He could have gone into Heracross right there, but still plus 2 HP Ground would have done what, like 25% maybe? Maybe less, maybe 20. But yeah, so I take that out, and it's an even score, but it's an uneven game right now, because I've been behind since I've been behind ever since I got my Togekiss to be toxic, and that's just really hurting me right now. What would help if I had the Stealth Rocks up here? I don't. Very unfortunate, but I don't. He's going to go for knockoff, expecting me to switch into Mismagius, which was a good play on his part, especially because now, well, he probably could have 2-hit KO'd me with close combat. The knockoff allows me to not have any recovery. I'm going to go for Toxic right here. I was praying there was a chance he would go into Latios and just let me get that 10% of damage I need just by getting the Toxic off, then I can protect. But yeah, that's not going to happen. He goes into Pyukamuku, which I don't mind Toxic in this. It means I can go for Hex. If I were to Toxic the Latios as well, I could just try to Hex spam the rest of his team. So that's really my plan here. How can I set Mismagius up to win? And it's basically, you gotta weaken the Mamoswine or Toxic it, you gotta weaken the Heracross or Toxic it, and you have to get 5 to 10% of damage on the Latios. And that's how I'm playing this right here. I switch into Drapion because it's the only thing on my team that I think is completely expendable. And he just goes for the Baton Pass and goes into Latios. And, well, he's going to drop a Draco. At this point, I was really hoping I got to hope that a Draco misses. I really have to hope that one of his Draco Meteors is going to miss. That's definitely going to kill me because I know he specs, just how he's playing it. And if he missed, I could have gone a knockoff all right there. So that's where I was going with that. I can go into El Cap right here. I can survive a -2 Draco even after his specs, and I could go for a Shadow Ball right here. But I decided right here that I do know that he is going to switch out into Pyukamuku, and I can 2-hit KO with a Hex, not a Shadow Ball, so that's what I actually decided to do. I go for Hex right off the bat, and the Hex is actually going to be able to take that down a lot. That did a lot of damage to the Pyukamuku, which is really good for me. This thing was costing me a lot of problems, so he's not going to be able to Baton Pass again, but I don't have Rocks up. And after a few Life Orb damages on the Galvantula, I could have gone into this thing and just gone for Shadow Ball, so me not getting up Rocks really screwed me in this game. Yeah, I do, if you guys haven't seen the battle with Gator, I do lose this game. It was just the Rocks play. If I got up Rocks, I really could have done something else, especially because he didn't have a Scarfer, as you guys see in the end. But right here, I know he's going to Psyshock, or go for Shadow Ball if he has that. I'm going to switch out, and he goes for Psyshock. I'm like, this is specs. I have some bulk, but how much bulk do I need to live? And I live with 3 HP, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I did not expect to live that one. Well, I need 10% of damage, as I said before, so I'm going for Leaf Storm over Dragon Pulse. And he goes into Mamoswine. And I didn't really have a switch right here, per se. I could have switched out, but I really didn't think it was worth it at this point. I didn't calc the damage because I knew I had lost, so I didn't try to switch out to try to conserve a Death Fodder in the late game, because it didn't really matter anyway, because no matter what, the Mismagius was not going to kill the Latios at full health. And right here I go into Mismagius, and I'm like, I can kill this thing from this range. It looks like I can, even if he's a Soul Fest. I'm pretty sure I can kill him from this range, which is either especially defensive or a Soul Fest. And I go for Shadow Ball, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna kill. Great. Nah, he lives. On the tiniest of health, he lives. And he's gonna go for Icicle Spear, and I'm like, can you not kill me? And he gets a crit, and I'm like, can you not hit 3 times? He only hit twice. But I died to Ice Shard after this, and yeah. So Mismagius is going to go down. He lived a Leaf Storm and a Shadow Ball. Again, Rocks. Really helped right there. And then I'm just going to go out into Suicune, and I'm going to click Ice Beam on the off chance he wants to switch out into Heracross or Latios to try to keep the 3-0. And then I can get the freeze potentially, and then just keep going for Ice Beams and get more freezes. That's really my play there. I feel like that barely killed with Thick Fat, to be honest. But he's going to go out into Latios, and at this point, I click Protect right here, and I'm not trying to be an asshole by clicking Protect. It was just in case he wanted to click Draco Meteor right there. I could have possibly pressure stalled it, and then could have freezed it on the switch. Yeah, alright guys, I'm just gonna quickly end the video here because I just lost and all my roommates just came back immediately and I told them just to be quiet for 10 seconds. So I'm gonna end the video here, guys. I'm gonna upload this as soon as I can, probably go up on Friday. If you enjoyed, I really appreciate you comment, like, rate, or subscribe. I'm sorry for the rushed upload, but it's just the situation I'm in for this semester. I'll have a house next year, so it'll be a lot easier for me to get this stuff up. But yeah, I'm SceptileMC George, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace!